What were the signs and things that you started to experience? And then like, what did that narrative look like for each of you?
I noticed definite physical changes out of nowhere. I've gone through most of my 40s feeling pretty darn good. And then all of a sudden, like a cloud, I was hit with mental issues, physical changes that just all at once, I felt like I was suffocating. And I think I was in denial initially, but discussed it with my physician. And she was like, oh no, you're not there yet. We'll retest you in a few years. You still have your cycle, so you're gonna be okay. Knowing that I felt miserable. Finding Winona as a solution has really changed my life. Honestly, it has, in a positive way, because I was feeling, really hopeless. My physician is telling me I'm fine. I go home and I'm, sweating until I finally fall asleep. I wake up and I'm frantic. So I knew that, that something was changing.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it was an evolution for me to get to this place, this positive place, because let me tell you, 2020, I was like, you guys are gonna have to lock me up in an asylum, because I have panic attacks every day, I have anxiety every day. When I would experience things like night sweats, I was like, oh, well, I'm a hot sleeper. It didn't click for me that I was going through like perimenopause and hitting menopause. Like, I don't know what I thought, to be honest with you. I think I was just like, what is going on? I am literally losing my mind. It's like I went to bed in February of 2020. And then by April of 2020, I was this different person. And then also the same thing that you had to say about weight. I was this person who was like a 4'6", and then all of a sudden I have these pounds, and it's like, well, where'd this come from? I'm, not doing anything differently. I'm eating the same. I do hot yoga, like nothing has really changed. That's what was so frustrating. I went to doctors. And the same thing, like, oh, well, you're not there yet because you're still having a cycle, and we've done all these tests, and what we think you are is just depressed. I wasn't quite sure what to make of it, but I'll tell you this: it was my mom who said, you know what? I think this is hormonal. I think you should, look into that aspect.
I totally can relate to both Fabia and Michelle. I all of a sudden had weight issues. I was doing my things and my things didn't work. And I went to my doctor, I talked about it, and he said, you're fine, this is your new normal. And so I was like, no, it's not. And I Googled just different things, and I actually came across the website, and the website had some information about, changes that can happen, when you're in this phase of life. And like finding the group online, I don't know if you guys are part of the Facebook group, but I was like, this is an oasis. Like, we're not taught this stuff. I don't think a lot of our doctors even know what to do.
No.
And I'm just grateful that I was able to find Winona.
Yeah, and speaking about the doctor situation, boy, that's a really misinformed group, because I went to an OBGYN, which was a woman who I thought would be sympathetic. And when I told her, I have such fatigue. I'm the most active person I know throughout my life, always running around doing things. And then all of a sudden I could barely just work and then come home and lay down. And if I had a day off, it was like, I just wanted to lay down all day. I couldn't do anything. So I asked the doctor, and she goes, menopause is not a disease. There's not a pill that we could give you to fix you. So I went home and I started to research. There's so much information, actually, if you look for it, when you realize you need it.
Right.
The problem is you don't know you need it. So when I did look on there, it was very helpful. And Winona felt the most friendly to me for some reason. I don't know if it's the colors or this. It's just like it was in layman's terms. It wasn't hard to understand.
Sounds like all of us have experienced sort of this medical gaslighting, which is super frustrating. Nobody likes to feel gaslit on any topic, but especially when it comes to your health, because we're all educated people and we live in our bodies.
Sure.
And who knows our body better than us?
Right.
So to have another physician tell you that you don't know what you're talking about, or to sort of poo-poo your experience, it's really disempowering. In a strange way, it leads us as women to be really resourceful, to sort of fend for ourselves, to find out what we need to find out. I'm happy that all of you have found Winona and that you feel seen and heard and part of the community.